Alright, today we're going to talk about cross multiplying. We're going to do cross products property of a proportion. So the cross products of a proportion are equal to each other. So essentially, you guys have all heard this. We're going to do cross multiplying. Okay, the biggest thing we're going to have to take into account today is when we cross multiply, make sure we put the parentheses around one side or the other. I'll explain that in a second. It's going to help you when distributing, which all of you have had difficulty with to start the year off. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first example down here. So we have 4 divided by r equals 5 divided by 10. Our goal is to solve for the variable. Okay, same goal as always, to get the variable by itself in the end. So first we want to do r times 5. Now remember to put the 5 in parentheses so we can physically see that it's multiplication. And next we want to do 4 times 10. The 10 will be in parentheses so that we can see that it's multiplication. Okay, now we're just going to get rid of the parentheses. Okay, r times 5 is 5r equals 4 times 10 is 40. Now to get the variable by itself, we have to do the opposite of what is shown with the variable, which is multiplication. So we have to divide 5 on both sides. So we get r equals 40 divided by 5, which is 8. Okay, now 1 and 2 are very easy cross-multiplying proportions here. So let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. Okay, does not matter if you start with the top phrase or the bottom phrase, either one is fine. So let's do f times 7 first. So we have f times 7 equals, okay, we're going to set up two sides to the equation. Now you have 6 times 4. Make sure to put the parentheses around one side so we can see our multiplication. Now it's just like this distributing. Any letter, variable, or number attached to the parentheses means multiplication. So we're going to do f times 7. So you get 7f equals 6 times 4, 24. Now, to solve for f, go ahead and divide by 7. And you get f equals, we're going to leave it in fraction form. Fraction form, if you go ahead and plug it back into the equation, is going to give you a more exact number than a decimal. So that's why we're leaving it in decimal form right now. Or, I'm sorry, fraction form. Okay, sorry for the mishap. This is actually number 3, not number 8. So go ahead, cross multiply. Let's do 5 times 2x minus 11. Now this is where the parentheses are going to come in handy. Because see, now we set up a nice little distribution problem that we've been working on. Okay, so we have 5 times 2x minus 11 equals. Now what I like to do here is make sure the single number is outside the parentheses. So we have 7 times x plus 2. Okay, now you have to go ahead and distribute on both sides of the equation. So first 5 times 2x, you get 10x. And you have 5 times negative 11. Remember, always read that sign, plus or minus in front, as telling you what number the next is. So is it positive or negative? So we have 5 times negative 11, we have 10x minus 55 equals. Now let's just distribute on the other side. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 2 is positive 14, so it's plus 14. Now it's like we worked on the other day. Okay, always, always, always move your variables to the left side. If we get in that habit, it'll be a lot easier for us as we get to more difficult problems. So you have a 7x, so you're going to go ahead and do the opposite. You got to take it off of this side by doing a minus 7x or a negative 7x on both sides. So you have 10x minus 7x is 3x. Bring your minus 55 down. We haven't touched that yet. 7x and negative 7x cancel each other out, and you're left with a positive 14. Next, the variable still is not by itself yet, so you have to get rid of the negative 55. What is the opposite of negative 55? Positive 55. So we are going to add 55 on both sides of the equation. So you get 3x equals negative 55 and positive 55 cancel each other out. So now you have 14 plus 55 and you get 69. So now we can go ahead and divide by 3 on both sides. The 3's are going to cancel each other out because they equal 1, so you get x equals 23. A lot more work to that problem. Okay, but after the cross multiplying, it's a problem we've been working on the past few days. Okay, so it's just very important to take the cross multiplying slowly so that we can go ahead and set up our equation correctly. Let's move on to 9. Go ahead and cross multiply to begin your problem. Now remember what I said before. Make sure your single number, in this case 3, is outside of the parentheses. So you have 3 times 2x plus 3 equals. Go ahead and cross multiply the other way, so now you have 9 times x plus 6. Okay, remember to always put these in parentheses so we can see the multiplication. It helps us when we might have to distribute or not. So we have first 3 times 2x is 6x. You have 3 times 3. Remember, it is not just plus 3. Okay, you have to multiply this 3 to the positive 3 as well. So 3 times 3 is positive 9. So plus 9. Let's distribute on the other side now. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times positive 6 is positive 54. Now, like I said, always move all your variables to the left side. Okay, so how do you get rid of 9x? You subtract 9x to positive 9x, so you have to do the opposite. So subtracting. So 6 minus 9 is now negative 3x, plus 9 we haven't done anything with, so move it down. The 9 and the negative 9 cancel each other out, and we are left with 54. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the problem up here to give myself a little bit more room. You may have to do the same. So you do negative 3x plus 9 equals 54. So if you're going to rewrite a problem, please, please, please make sure you rewrite it exactly the same way. You do not want to lose any negatives. So now we're going to go ahead and subtract 9 on both sides. Get negative 3x equals 54 minus 9, you get a nice 45. Go ahead and divide by 3. At this point in solving for equations, you should be pretty used to seeing a number attached to a variable and dividing in order to get the variable by itself. So you get x equals 45 divided by negative 3, and you get negative 15. Okay, like I said, you have to take this slowly. You cannot rush. You're going to make mistakes if you rush. Let's go ahead and roll it down to our word problems. And when you're doing word problems, it's important to pick out the few key words that they're trying to compare. So let's take a look at 10. You're uploading your music library to your iPad. You notice it takes 3 minutes to upload 20 songs. How long will it take to upload 100 songs? So what are the two main items they're comparing? You have minutes to songs. So I'm going to go ahead and write that in words so we can see where we want to place numbers. So minutes and songs. We have to go ahead and set up a proportion here. So since we already wrote our fraction in words, let's take a look at our first one. You notice it takes 3 minutes to upload 20 songs. So minutes is on top, so we're going to go ahead and write 3 on top. The songs is on the bottom, so we're going to put 20 on the bottom. Okay, now you have, to finish it, you have how long will it take to upload 100 songs. Okay, 100 songs, we see songs is on the bottom. I'm going to put 100 on the bottom. And they're asking you how long will it take. So do we know the minutes? No. If you don't know a number, go ahead and just place a variable there until you figure it out. Okay, so now that we've set it up, we want to go ahead and solve. Go ahead, cross multiply. You have 20 times x equals 3 times 100. Okay, distribute. 20 times x is 20x equals 3 times 100 is 300. To solve for x, go ahead and divide by 20. So you get x equals 15. So let's answer our question. How long will it take to upload 100 songs? It will take 15 minutes to upload 100 songs. Okay, now these are taking a little bit longer than normal because now you have to start picking out keywords, so you really have to read the problem carefully. Number 11, if 3 batches of cookies serve 12 students, how many batches of cookies are needed to serve 28 students? So go ahead and pick out what you're looking for. You have batches of cookies and you have students. So write out your fraction. We're just going to go say batches over students. So we know we're going to set up a proportion here, so we can go ahead and write it out. Our first proportion is 3 batches of cookies serves 12 students. So batches is on top. We're going to go ahead and put 3 on top. And then you have students, so 12. Our question says how many batches of cookies are needed to serve 28 students. So we see 28 students. We're going to go ahead and put 28 on the bottom. We don't know how many batches, put your variable on top. Go ahead and cross multiply. So you do 12 times x and you do 3 times 28. So here you have 12x equals 3 times 28, which is 54, 84. Go ahead and divide on both sides by 12. And you get x equals 7. So it will take, or how many batches of cookies are needed to serve 28 students? 7 batches of cookies are needed. Okay, please remember this is a lot of information, so if you have questions, come up and ask me at my desk. If not, go on to your independent practice and then move on to your quiz.